Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another Friday video. And today we are doing a much needed and maybe anticipated update of the 40 breeder behind me. There's so much to talk about this tank that I've even got a list this time. So without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump right in. All right, so first things first, since the last time I've shown off this tank, it's probably a 100% guarantee that I've moved something around, whether it be driftwood or plants. I am trying to decide whether or not I want to keep the red tiger lotus that was originally in this tank in it. Right now it's pretty much just the large sword and the two stem plants towards the back, which are pretty overgrown. They're due for a trim. But I'm kind of liking the look of the tank without the tiger lotus in here. It just kind of simplifies it a little bit more. It kind of makes it feel a little bit open. One major change for the tank, I did go ahead and upgrade the lighting. I did originally have the Fluval 2.0 running on this tank, which, if you've seen any of my previous videos on it, was kind of dealing me fits. It would kind of randomly dim out, switch into night mode on me. And it was about actually longer than that, about 4 or 5 years old, I think. So it was definitely past the warranty. But I decided to upgrade to the Fluval 3.0, which I have to say I am really enjoying. First off, just being able to customize the different lighting outputs really helps me set a nice feel for the tank. Right now it's just at full capacity, and I do absolutely love having the dim on and dim off option that I actually have scheduled, and not just the tank doing it on its own. But this light has definitely been pleasing for me. And as far as plants in the tank, we talked about the ones I actually planted in there, but one that has kind of made its home in the tank and I'm pretty much just allowing to take over at this point because I'm loving the look, is some Cladophora algae, which is growing on the driftwood in places. And in one spot I pretty much have just a big old carpet of it growing on the wood, which I am absolutely loving the look of. And I do see some of the shrimp that live in this tank grazing on it every now and then, and it's not really causing any harm to the tank. It doesn't look terrible. As far as algae go, Cladophora is probably one of my favorite ones to just let do its thing in the tank. Now when we get to the fish in the tank, that's where things are really going to get interesting. First off, I did add about 6 more red-eye tetras to the tank, which brings the school up to about 15, give or take a couple. That, along with the growth of the plants, has really made them comfortable. I see them out at the front a lot more, and as you can see right now, they're just out in the open, even with me in front of the tank, waving my hand around periodically. They are definitely much more comfortable in there. I did reintroduce the cherry shrimp into this tank that I had set aside, bolstering up their population in a breeder box. When I put them back into the tank, I'm guessing I probably had about 40 to 50. And with the plant growth and cover from botanicals in here, they've been repopulating. I do see some get hunted down by the puffer every now and then, but it's essentially just kind of part of the ecosystem I've built into this tank. And the clown plecos, which we have not talked about in quite a while, all 10 of them grew up really well. I did go ahead and trade out 3 of them, gave them to a friend. I have a few more that I intend to trade off. I do have to find the last one. Smart guy accidentally dropped them into the tank, so they are being fished out slowly until I can get the ones I'm trading out. But the rest of them are living in the tank among the driftwood with the 3 adults. And I pretty much just decided just to leave them in there for now, allowing them to grow up in the tank. I do get to see them pretty periodically. And one really exciting piece of news, since I got these panda cories a few months ago, it's been a year at this point. Since I've got them, they have started breeding pretty periodically, especially in the last few months. They have figured out that one of the safest places to lay their eggs is between the breeder box in the tank and the glass. And every now and then I will wake up to about 25 to 30 eggs just in that little spot. And sometime at the beginning of this year, I actually had a nice surprise. One of them actually made it to a full-grown cory. And so I now have 7 instead of 6 panda cories in this tank. And as of now, it has grown up and joined the school of others. It's still a little bit smaller than the rest of them, but it's almost getting to the point where I can't differentiate which one is the one that was born in this tank. And of course, I do have to mention the loss in this tank. One of my oldest Bolivian ram females did die earlier this year. She probably was pushing about 5.5, 6 years at that point, which was right at the height of a Bolivian ram lifespan. She was one of the original fry that was bred and raised up in this tank, and it got me thinking. The other 4 Bolivian rams in this tank, 2 of them are at least getting near that 5-year mark. The other 2 are right near about 4. So I'm kind of trying to decide whether I should save one of the spawns and continue the Bolivian ram kind of legacy I have going on in this tank at this point. There's been Bolivian rams in this tank for probably at least 8 or 9 years. I'm trying to decide that, or if I just kind of allow them to live off the rest of their lives, slowly fizzle out, and replace them with a different type of fish down the road when that time comes. And finally, one really interesting observation I made while just sitting down watching the tank. I noticed my puffer doing something weird. It looked like he was biting at a piece of driftwood. It was just biting in one spot, just continuous, probably a good 20, 25 bites, at least at that time when I was watching it. I unfortunately couldn't get it on camera because my puffer is really shy, and as soon as it sees a camera, it just kind of stops whatever it's doing. But so it was really interesting to see that the puffer in this tank at least has kind of figured out how to self-file its teeth. It does still get a good, healthy feeding of snails and hard-shelled food items, but it's an interesting behavior, which with this puffer has definitely been something I've been watching, just kind of one interesting behavior after another. Alright guys, so that is going to be it for this update video on the 40 breeder. I think I've pretty much talked as much as my voice will allow for today. I am still recovering from being sick again. Hooray. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this update. There was definitely a lot to cover, but I was really excited to share it all with you guys. And I'll see you in the next Friday video. Thanks for watching.